Let's talk about the people that don't use you guys. I'm going to put you on a spot. Why should we use you?
So I get asked that question all the time. And what I'll tell you is like this. You don't have to use me. You can go through the bank. You can have your lawyer open up a trust account. You'll just pay more and you'll have more headaches. So the reason why we're able to offer the rates that we are able to is because we transact on the scale of hundreds of millions of dollars. So the bank gives us better rates than they give to the average client, including a lawyer who opens up many trust accounts.
So you're basically saying you're still transferring through the bank.
Of course, I don't have suitcases of cash. We can't. Everything is bank to bank transfers. But the question then is, how do you get the most shekels for every dollar, euro, pound sterling that you're sending, with the least amount of headaches? So the problem people often encounter is they'll send money to the bank, and then you're going to have a low-level employee at the bank asking for clarification about something. You provide that clarification. They take it to their manager. Their manager says, hey, but we need clarification about this.
And none of them speak English?
Of course not. Plus, they'll call you when it's 2 a.m. because that's when it's convenient for them to call. And you wind up having a lot of headaches where it could be avoided. Plus, you're paying a lot more money. There's no one at the bank that's going to have a conversation with you about fluctuating currency markets. There's nobody at the bank that's going to speak to you when it's, after hours in Israel to help you. So as a private company, what we're able to do is we're able to say, what is it that our clients need?
To be honest, I'm happy you answer that way, because if a fellow real estate agent would ask me, why do I use you over other companies or over bank transferring? My answer is availability. You're always available. Your answers are very direct and culturally understood by my clients, which is very important. And of course, the price that you receive, meaning the price that the client receives in shekels, is higher if they would do it through the bank. And for me, it's very important because that brings the budget up.
What do you mean by it's higher through the bank?
What I mean is, when a client transfers, for example, $1 million through the bank, they might have about 3.4 million shekels, give or take.
Depending on the actual the currency rates, which change every 30 seconds.
True. If they transfer through you, it could actually be another 30 to 50,000 shekels. Now,
often much more than that.
Now that just pays some of the extra fees in a transaction. There's an agent fee, there's a tax, there's a lawyer fee. Now that's a whole different conversation. But the fact that that I could use you to bring up the budget of the client, for me is outstanding.
Yeah, thank you.
We spoke a lot about the fact of buying real estate with the currency money, but how does it really work? How do I pay for real estate in Israel?
Okay, so it's a process. And with all complex ideas in life, I'd like to break it into small parts, because this way you can understand it and deal with each part. So the way it works with us is very simple. As I said, we need to meet with a person, and either physically here in Israel or with one of my representatives abroad. Then we have to have some document exchange. We need to show where the money's coming from. And very often...
Make sure it's kosher.
We have to make sure it's kosher. And the easiest way to do that is we have a letter from person's accountant. And again, we draft a letter for you. This isn't the first, second, or 100th real estate deal that we've done, so we know exactly what the bank needs. So we provide it for them on a silver platter, and we give them no reason to reject the money, no reason to create any extra headaches. So we help you assemble all the paperwork. Then we work together with your realtor and your lawyer here in Israel. So therefore, we know when the closing is going to happen. We either need a bank check, whether it's a bank transfer, whether it's certain payments can only be made on a specific piece of paper that gets stamped by the bank. Whatever the case may be, we've done it before, so we know how to do it. And we're able to do it pretty quickly.
So you're saying it's very complicated, but don't worry, you'll make it easy.
Exactly. That's why it's very important that, again, I'm not the only company out there. So whoever a person uses, I say, number one, just don't use the bank. Just because in Israel, there's a term called a friar. People who use the bank, they're friaring. meaning it suckers. You're giving. I'm a Zionist. I believe it's very important to support Zionist institutions. I don't think the bank is an institution that needs our support. So, but then when it comes to a currency company, I think it's very important that somebody uses a company that, first of all, is licensed and regulated here in Israel. Because if ever there is a question, and very often there are questions, to have a company that has relationships with the banks, that is regulated here, so that when we tell the bank, look, we did all the things that are required under Israeli law to investigate, and we exchanged letters, they'll accept the funds. But if a company is not licensed and regulated here, then a person's money can be held in limbo.